how a child can be autistic.
You know, I'm a GP, so like I've always got like I'm a medic mom, I guess, so it's just probably just slightly different to just being just a mom. But the truth is that the like health professionals and scientists and medics, they don't know what really causes autism and what is it a genetic thing or not. Like, you know, there are some things like Downs where there's, you know, a certain chromosome and that's clearly the problem. It could just be like in Anita's case, she was reviewed by a pediatrician, like there is no other like, you know, injury at birth or any other problems or anything physical. It's just a developmental thing, but there is some family history like on her father's side, so that's also the case. But it tends to run in families, I think. There's some sort of genetic thing, but I think what's frustrating is that people don't know much about it. So they think it's something that people might grow out of or change.
What was the thing that something is not quite right in your
I remember exactly when. So when Anita was 1 year old, we had a big birthday party, and then my best friend had bought her this toy, this aquadoodle toy, but my friend hadn't come to the party, so because she was away, and she came and gave us the toy like 6 months later when Anita was 18 months old. And I remember as soon as she gave her that toy, I remember thinking, oh, she'd never know how to play with this or what to do with it. And it was then that my friend, whose daughter is like a few months older than Anita, she said, oh yeah, she's been playing with this like since she was 1. And Anita, that's when I realized that something was wrong, because she couldn't play with that specific age appropriate toy. In fact, she was quite old for that toy. And she would just take it and she would just suck on the sponge instead of like color painting or whatever it was. So that time, that was when I felt like, I remember that really well, like that something wasn't quite right there. But it's difficult because, like, you know, I'm a medic and I see loads of people, like as a GP, and it's so obvious for me to spot and see, you know, when a child comes in the room. But probably with Anita, like, it was a bit more difficult.
Of course.
But a lot of children with autism or like these developmental conditions, they have normal development until about a year, and then the development kind of slows down or sometimes reverses or stops, or sometimes they point for things, and then once they turn 1, they don't point and ask for things, which is like one of the things with autism. So yeah, so then we just basically started going on a journey of like seeing the GP, get a referral, see the pediatrician. There was like a long waiting list time and stuff. But we also took her to the health visitor when she was 1 year old. And the health visitor also felt that something may not be right because she wasn't responding to her name and she wasn't making eye contact and responding back.
And these are some of the
things to pick up.
That could.
But I would just go with your gut feeling. Like if you think as a mum something is not 100% okay, probably it's not.
You face okay, I need to see someone and I want to know and help her.
Yeah.
Takes courage as well.
Well, I always think like if as a mum you're not going to do it for your kid, no one else is going to help them. And there are lots of support groups out there, but it's just literally just going from pillar to post. I was just asking and asking and asking, like, you know, if I go to one parent group, I'll find 3 parents and then I'll find out what other groups they've been to. But it took me a couple of years, I think, to educate myself about autism, which despite, again, being a GP, I didn't really have any idea about. I knew what it is and I know how to spot it, but actually how to support parents to cope with the everyday challenges and difficulties in a world which is not set up for autistic people. It's set up for typical people. You know, simple things like when you go to a public toilet, you know, the blow dryer for your hand. So, like, from my point of view, I think that's really inconsiderate. So Anita, she can't tolerate the noise of that, and she's always afraid of using a public restroom because she knows that as soon as she washes her hand, there's often nowhere else to dry your hands. Yes. Except for that.
Or maybe if it's not her, someone else is using it.
But usually it's someone else. She'll be washing her hand and someone suddenly, you know, does that. So there's like little things like that, which I think maybe unless you have an autistic child, you don't realize, like, it's these little things kind of build their anxiety.